I do at the top of the year, I told you my wish list in January. Well, between January and now, things have changed. Some of those things have been checked off the list, fantastic, and some of the things have been bumped off. So I am here to give you updates, okay, on the items that I am no longer interested in buying, or that I decided not to buy and why, and what has maybe replaced them on the list. I do have a few pieces from like Autumn Winter 23 and Cruise 2023-24 that are on this list that aren't out yet, but I'm here to tell you the plan. Starting off with a piece of fine jewellery. Earlier this year, I turned 30 this year. Claps for me. I wanted to get myself a piece of fine jewellery to commemorate such a large birthday milestone. And there has been a lot of umming and ahhing over what this thing should be, and initially I think I wanted the Tiffany lock bracelet, and then wasn't particularly like, that wasn't quite 100% with me, and then I moved on to the Ananya tennis bracelet. And part of the reason why I really wanted that was that I thought that you could customize all of the like stones and everything on the tennis bracelet. Liar, I'm a liar, okay? Turns out you can only do that with the like bead version. The tennis bracelets like come as they come in the colours that they come in. I just didn't really feel any sort of urgency. And that's why we make wish lists, okay? So that we can mull things over, so that we can really try and make good decisions about whether or not we really like something. Am I still thinking about this? Do I still think that this is a good decision? And if I wasn't 100%, I'm not going to be dropping fine jewellery money on something that I'm not 100% about. Now, that has been bumped off the list. And what has slid itself right in, and I've spoken about iterations of this over the last year, and then I found out that it comes in a particular version, and that version is very me. The Bulgari, I should probably start pronouncing it correctly, the Bulgari Serpenti watch. And usually I tend not to like the particularly over-popular choices, and then I found out that it comes in white ceramic. And you know me, I'm trying to like all of my sort of ring game to be, or like the majority of it to be, white ceramic or white enamel. You know, it's the story I'm trying to tell on my hands. And I saw it and I've tried it on a couple of times and it's really nice. They do it in a single bracelet, but like if I'm going to do it. Go full force with it. Get the whole sodding arm with that snake twirling around it, you know? So I do like the double bracelet. I'm not necessarily like in a rush to get it. It's a big purchase, okay? And like, she's got a sodding wedding apparently that, you know, she wants to have. So, priorities and whatever. I say this and then there's like an unboxing in a month. But yes, I'm trying to be somewhat sensible. Why do I love it? I love it because it's white ceramic. I like that it's very different from the two watches that I currently have. You know, I've got a Hublot, which is sort of that like masculine-y, sporty vibe, and then I've got the stainless steel Chanel J12, which is again a little bit more, dressy is not the word, but it's a steel bracelet, you know? So this one is a little bit different. I like it. I feel like it suits me. She's weaseled herself onto the list. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Okay, the next item is a bag. A very cute TBE Tiny Bag Energy little red Chanel version of the Alma bag, right? Little red quilting, patent, two little chain top handles, crossbody strap. Very cute, okay? Now there's two reasons why I decided not to get this. The first reason is I said that I liked it because I use this little Chanel bag a lot. Tiny little top handle, love her, right? And that exactly should have been the reason why I shouldn't have wanted to go for this, because I feel like they have semi-similar jobs. On top of that, I then, in between making that video, oh, big stretch, was kindly gifted this red Fendi baguette phone pouch from the Fendi show, and she sort of like satiated this whole for a red bag in my collection, and I really love this. So it's the sort of in-between of a bag like this and a bag like that, right? So that didn't make much sense. And then on top of it, that collection came out and I was completely head over heels, 100% in love with the mermaid classic flap. And once again, we can't have everything. All right, priorities, we've got to prioritise. And I would have much preferred this over that bag, of which I have two that are sort of similar, you know, so trying to be sensible. But the mini bag that has, mini-ish bag that has come on the scene is, when I went to that Fendi fashion show, there was one bag that was in that collection that I was drawn to it. I was like, I like you, you're interesting, you're different, you're practical, even though that's not necessarily a big factor in my decisions. I think it's going to be called the Fendi origami bag, and I've pre-ordered it in the small size. I think they might do two bigger sizes, one bigger size. Anyway, what I love about this is that it's sort of like, it's magnetic, the closure's magnetic, so you can magnetise it into its little bucket bag, or you can magnetise it into more of like a shopper trapezium style, right? I will probably not use the trapezium style. I like it as a bucket bag. I like the fact that she's got a long like shoulder strap. It captured me, and I really like it. I also think I don't have any like confirmation on price, because even if you pre-order, like the price can adjust when it actually comes out. But I think if I'm right, it's maybe like 1,300, 1,400 pounds, 1,700, under $2,000. I think. Don't quote me on that. Allegedly, okay? Item number 3 is also a Chanel item. This is actually one that I've not really like spoken about that much. Like, it wasn't in my wish list video earlier this year. Last year I saw this Chanel bomber jacket from Métier d'Art 2022. It is a black tweed bomber jacket, and it has Chanel embellished in pearls and gems and deliciousness over the two pockets. Have you seen a more Chanel jacket for me? No, you haven't. It was £8,000. What was that? Yeah, £8,000. Hard one to swallow, right? Anyway, not at that stage in life yet, so I sort of forgot about it. Anyway, saw it recently, knocking around, and that said one thing to me, which is, oh, it's been a year later. Sale season. Here's the thing, even at 40% off, that is a ridiculously expensive jacket that I won't even wear that often. Like, I can't get the cost per wear down for that to make it justifiable. Am I making sense? Because of how delicate it is, I wouldn't just want to throw it on when I'm going to CVS to collect my prescription. You know, I wouldn't want to overwear it. God forbid if an embellishment fell off. Oh my gosh, reeling. She's having a mentee bee. Like, terrible, terrible times. Once again, Fendi show, I saw a jacket. Well, it's a coat. It's a coat. It is a black... What was the fabric? It was like a nylon-y, felt a bit like satin, but isn't. It's way more durable than satin. Black trench. Floor-length trench. The Matrix. Whilst I have a trench coat, this to me gave a little bit more casual. And this, you see, as opposed to the Chanel one, is one that is way more durable, will be able to be worn a lot, and is very versatile, because not only is she a floor-length coat, but guess what? Whip everything off, she can be a dress. You get just a little belt to nip it in there. Oh my gosh, fabulous trench dress, killing it, 10 out of 10, thank you very much, everybody else can go home. And so I like it. You see, something like that has much better use in my closet than the Chanel one. Back to another bag, the Dior Men's ERL capsule collection. I want to say it was Cruise, I might be very wrong. They had these really cool saddles. And what I liked about the saddles were they were like puffy, and they had this really thick gold chain. I then went and did some more digging and I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Especially because I like these a little bit more quirky, limited edition-y pieces. I was like, this is perfect, right? She loves a chain. She loves a saddle. They came in blue. Ring-a-ding-ding. It was fully satin. And that was my first, like, ooh, red flag about it, because I thought they would be nylon, in which case, a bit more hard wearing. The satin aspect of it, especially when it's going to be like this on the chest, I feel like there's more opportunities for that satin to pull and look worn really easily. You're going to have to be careful with zips, with anything that's sort of like, here is a very sort of come into contact place. Anyway, so that was my first, like, red flag. Second red flag is that in between the runway and production, the chain got smaller. And I don't think I like the new proportions. I think if you're going to do chunk, give it chunk. They also did have mini versions, however some of those were just like showroom orders, so like only if you went to the show and went to the Reci were you able to order it. Loved the concept, wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the execution in person, not 100%. Now, another men's collection bag has swooped in and taken its spot. Pharrell for Louis Vuitton. Spring-Summer 2024. Yes, we love the Speedies. Don't love the price of the Speedies. And there was one other sort of like collection of bags in this collection inception that I really liked, and that was the copper mirror bags that were in like leather, like a vernis leather, right? It just is, it's very that Marc Jacobs Miroir collection, but in a rose gold. I don't have a soft trunk, and in theory this is a bag style that would suit me. Nice little crossbody, it's got those little chain aspects, right? It's like a little trunk situation. She's like, it's very my vibe. Has there been one that's really like sort of like, you know, got me salivating a bit? Not until now. So I really like this one. I think this is the one that I'm like going for from this collection because, you know, I've said goodbye to the Speedies. And also the price of this was not anywhere as bad as the Speedies. I think this one definitely, I think should have a lovely home in my collection. The last item was a pair of shoes, and I wasn't even sure about these at the time. I was like really mulling it over. These are the Amiri MA1 skate trainers. Here's the thing, I've said this in videos about trends. When you do like the extreme is where it gets harder with like, if you fall out of love with the trend, then it's hard for you to stay in love with the item. And I feel like this was very trendy within that skate shoe trend. And I sort of have trainers that give me that chunk without being so obviously sort of skate shoe inspired that fit my wardrobe a bit more. So once again, me umming and ahhing over it was a sign. Sometimes the more you think about something, the more you keep making up excuses for it, it's not for you. All right, bumper off the list. This is not a similar item that's come in here, and once again, it's a sodding bag. And don't ask me how we've become so like bag heavy in this wish list. I had no intention, but here we go. The collections are coming out, and what do you want me to do? You can't help your feelings. You can't help what you know, fall in love with, what captures your heart, and I'm sorry that there's so many bags, alright? But there was the Gucci Horsebit, I'm going to call it the hobo version, as part of Gucci Cruise 2024, and I saw it and I was like, you know that this is gonna happen, it's simply a matter of time. I really like this. I was sort of like really intrigued by the Horsebit clutch in general coming back, but this was the version of it that really reeled me in. I like you, we're gonna live a good life together, this is gonna happen. So I particularly like it. They did it in like a blue web. I like it in the yellow web. I think that's interesting. It's got, I mean, this is very loud luxury. You know me, you're not surprised. She's not up here in the row in her videos, right? So it's fun, it's different. I love that Horsebit sort of like addition onto the handle there. I'm excited to see it in person. That's the other thing. All of these are in theory, okay? I might see it in person and go, that is not the way I thought that this was going to play out. In between the show and production, things can go terribly wrong. So these are my current intentions. Also, because we're still being bag heavy, still loving the Hermes Kelly Leane. That is the next sort of like Hermes bag that I'm going after. Turns out, really limited in the US. So that's one thing that's like, it's more of a long game for me. Also, this is why I try to pay attention to runways, because it allows me to plan. I keep these things in my little mental, you know, wish list, or I write it down or whatever, and then now I can think about it until the time it comes out. And so I'm not pressured when it comes out to be like, oh, I think I love it, I must have it, and then regret, you know, ensues. So this way I can really mull it over, I can really make sure that I like it enough so that when it comes out, I'm ready. Also saving, squirreling away money to make sure that when that thing comes out, we're good to go. We're not stressed. So there we go. That's my wish list. You're up to date. Let me know what's on your wish list currently. I am going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.